time. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Ultimately, winning football is winning football. That's been really consistent.
Wants to run. Yes, here he goes down. Matayo Uiagalelei.
Group playing with hunger. They're in the mindset that I got to go take this. I want to get on the field. I want to play.
Sadiq inside of the 5. Hurdles his way into the end zone. Was it caught? It was. Touchdown, Evan Stewart.
It's really incredible how they work. They don't blame, they don't complain. They just come up here every single day and work their tails off.
Up the middle, Buster 5, 3, 2, lowers his head into the end zone.
I'm just ready to attack it, figure out what we're really great at, what we got to improve at. That's the fun part for me, is what problems do we get to solve.
This is the Oregon Football Coaches Show on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by Toyota. Let's go places. Today's broadcast is also brought to you by Country Financial Insurance, protect what matters, and by Pepsi and Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks! Drink Pepsi. Now let's go to the Country Financial Studios and talk Oregon Duck football.
Yeah, Wednesday night on the West Coast. That means it's got to be time for the Coaches Show.
You look fresh.
I'm fresh. I had a bye week, baby. Welcome to the show, Jerry Allen. Jorgie, Coach, is going to join us here in a moment. Not head coach Dan Lanning. We've got, I'm not going to tell you who it is until he gets here. We'll put some questions to him, and then we've got Matayo, Young Concrete, the guest later tonight for Joey to talk to. Looking forward to that. Gosh. Welcome into the Country Financial Studios. It is Wednesday night. It's ESPN Game Day week. It's Indiana. And I was talking to somebody this week, and they said, when we say Indiana to you, what do you think of? I think basketball.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? You think Bobby Knight?
Yes, yeah, but not anymore. You think football now, because they got a heck of a football team.
Oh, do they
Top
ever.
10 showdown.
Jerry, I mean, it's amazing. I talked to a couple people today on different shows, talking about it. And, in football, you always talk about Ohio State, or you talk about Penn State, or you talk about teams like that. And now it's Indiana. And I tell you what, they are legitimately good. They are talented. They're well coached. They've got the right guys in the right spots. They play hard. They know how to win various games, whether it's high scoring or physical. They've got all of the makings of a high-level team and a high-level game coming here to Autzen Stadium, which is why game day is in town. And that's what we live for.
No,
these are the games we live for, right?
Exactly. I said that earlier this week. Somebody said, "Are you excited for this game?" I said, "This is the week. This is the reason that you get excited to be a Duck fan now." But because it wasn't not many years ago when I've said this before, get the 6 wins, baby. Let's get bowl eligible, all right? Okay, we're way beyond that now, and this is a week that really points to that. 2 top 10 teams. Now, interesting. Both had a bye week coming into this. So extra preparation time, extra time to heal up. It'll be interesting to see how that affects both teams as far as health goes.
Yeah, I think the heal-up physical piece of it for both these teams is the key, because, you can heal up mentally, but you're still going to be mentally engaged probably every single day since that Penn State game. But it's the physical aspect of it when you can take 2 or 3 days off, give your body a rest. You've been pounding, you've been going at it, and everything else that goes with it. Offensively, defensively, special teams, those extra 2 or 3 days of being able to just let your body recover is huge. And now being able to put something behind that's going on 2 weeks ago and moving on to the next one's going to be really important for this team.
It's going to be a battle, too. I mean, we'll talk about it, but these are teams that are really evenly matched. Both good in the trenches, both good on defense, both good on offense, both have quality quarterbacks. I mean, there's a very thin line between Oregon and Indiana in this game. I mean, they are so much alike. I've heard a lot of talk this week about the home field advantage. The Autzen crowd is making their way into the media. The sports media across the nation are talking about the Autzen crowd. Gotta love that.
Yeah, I mean, it is an advantage.
Yes.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. And you've got to take advantage of it. I mean, it's one of those things where when 2 teams are so evenly matched, I hate to go to stats because stats don't always tell the tale and tell the full story. But if you go to the statistics for both of these teams, right down to the average yards per play on offense, the average yards per play that you give up on defense, exactly the same. I mean, there's no difference. There's only one really statistical category that they're different than, and frankly, I think it's a key, which is tackles for loss. But everything else, almost exactly the same. So, home field advantage, that's what you're going to lean on. The fans show up, as you always do, and really take over in the stadium.
Yeah, and both of these teams now, we're a point in the season. Why earlier on, we're like, who have they played? Who has Oregon played? How can you compare? Well, both have really played really good opponents. Of course, Indiana, Illinois, and they just shattered Illinois when Illinois was expected to be a really good team this year. And, of course, Oregon goes to Penn State, and that 110,000, although the white was still spectacular in my mind, and takes care of business. So I think we know enough about both of these teams to expect this to be, if it's error-free, and I don't think either team's going to really turn the ball over or commit too many mistakes, self-inflicted mistakes. I think this can be one really hard-fought, great football game.
There are two teams that are really efficient in what they do. You know, they don't turn the ball over. They don't give extra opportunities to the opposing team. They're really good from a standpoint of third down efficiency offensively. Giving up third downs defensively, it just doesn't happen. So it's one of those ones, Jerry, where I sit there and I look at the games that Oregon has played and the games that Indiana has played, and they've played in high-scoring games, they've played in defensive games, and they've figured out a way to win either of them. And so they believe, regardless of the type of game that you get into, whether it's high-scoring, in between, or very low-scoring and physical, each team believes that they can win that game. And, again, that's where I think home field crowd, home field differences makes the difference in this game.
Both teams score a lot of points. Their offense is efficient and score a lot of points. Both teams' defenses really tight. I think both teams are giving up not double digits. I think Oregon and Indiana are allowing like 9.5 points a ball game. So, again, the even match of this game, and I think the crowd could be a huge difference in that.
Yeah.
Could be fun.
And again, for those who love to see talent on the field.
Oh, it can be a lot.
I mean, just the amount of talent on receivers and running backs and defensive players and DBs and linebackers and everybody else. But one thing that's going to be a little bit different than Oregon, I don't think, has seen so far this year is the level of receivers that they're going to see with Amari Cooper and Elijah Surratt. I mean, two guys that just really get after it. And Surratt in particular is a guy that's 6'2", 230. Yeah. And so he's a guy that, if he catches balls over the middle, which Oregon loves to be very physical, he's the type of guy that can also break the tackles, tough to bring down, which is why, you know, his stats look so good this year. And frankly, you know, Fernando Mendoza, who's been to Autzen Stadium before, this isn't going to be his first trip here.
How about that?
So he'll be returning. His brother's the backup, which is, I think, really interesting too.
When I was doing my charts, I thought, okay, something's wrong. Somebody messed up. There's two Mendozas on the chart.
I know. His brother is his backup.
Yes.
But again, Fernando's a tremendous quarterback. He's climbed up the ladder nationally very quickly with his performance, with his leadership of that team, and obviously Curt Cignetti has done a great job in Indiana, and they have risen up through the ranks very quickly to be talked about as the best of the teams in the country, and I think they deserve it.
All right. ESPN Game Day here, 6 o'clock on Saturday morning. It's going to be over at the Quad again. I think everybody knows where that is. Let's show the nation that the Ducks deserve to have ESPN right here, live from Eugene. ESPN College Game Day. I think last time they visited, I don't have the young man's name, but somebody kicked a field goal over there, and Pat had to give away a little money. Yeah.
You've been giving away a little bit of money this year.
I know he's been giving away a lot of money this year. Kickoff 12:30, pregame show 10:30 here on the Oregon Sports Network. Well, when we come back, we're going to take a look at the uniforms that we've got and talk more about the crowd, the Ducks. ESPN Game Day, Indiana, 2 top 10 teams. This is what you live for.
That's right.
And it's coming up. More here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Wherever you are in life, once a duck, always a duck. That's OCCU. Since 1956, OCCU has helped the University of Oregon community take flight financially, like our remarkable checking and duck debit card that give Duck fans more for the things they care about, more for the game, more for gear, more for a bright future. Earn interest, show your Duck devotion, and start earning more today. Learn more at myoccu.org/getduckdebit.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways On Point can help support your financial well-being. On Point Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Football the way you like it.
Woo! That was some football.
The Oregon Ducks on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Snakes, zombies, sharks, heights, speaking in public. The list of fears is endless. But while you're clutching your blanket in the dark, wondering if that sound in the hall was actually a footstep, the real danger is in your hand, when you're behind the wheel. And while you might think a great white shark is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
My name is Ariel. I moved to the U.S. at 19. I spoke no English and I struggled finding job opportunities. Everything I have, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and getting my high school diploma at age 22.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Welcome back inside the Country Financial Studios. I'm Jerry Allen. Jorgie with me as we get ready for Indiana this week. I mentioned game day. 33 times Oregon has been a part of a game day broadcast. All right, 33 times. 13 of them here in Eugene. Do you remember the first one? We've talked about this a little bit, and I'll
make a guess if I think it's the one.
Okay.
So was it out on the old football fields that were out here, grass fields, out here, I guess I should say, in front of the Cavs Center?
Yeah, in front of the Cavs Center. Yeah,
I do remember that.
Yeah, it was against UCLA. And the Ducks won that game, and Mike Bellotti was the coach. And in a rare occurrence, he came out after the game and went on the game day set. Oh. Yeah, and game day used to do a radio show. And Kurt and Chris came actually here before that game and sat upstairs in our broadcast booth. Huh. We set them up and they did their game day radio show.
I didn't know that.
Memories.
But I do remember it being out there, just little hints of it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Long time ago.
Yeah. The histories. I was talking to one of the coaches, one of the grad assistants today, and said, has Oregon played Indiana here before? And I think they have. And I said, yeah, they have. The only time they did play, they lost. Yeah. I think it was 2004, lost by like a touchdown.
Well, they turned it over. I can't remember. It was like 7 times, Oregon in that game.
My gosh, what a memory.
I mean,
there was that.
You look at it statistically, it looked like Oregon should have beat them 50-10. But I think there were, I can't remember if it was 4 interceptions and 3 fumbles or vice versa. But I think Oregon turned it over 7 times in that game, and there was no other way that they could have lost the game other than turn it over a bunch of times.
This is the 4th meeting between Indiana and Oregon. The first one, 1963, up in Portland. Ducks won at 28-22 on the old
That was the year I was born.
Fields.
How about that?
Really?
Jeez.
Oh, what goes around
like
comes
a century ago.
That. It was a long time ago. I was 28 then. 1964, they played in Bloomington, and the Ducks won that one 29-21. Trying to think, how old was I in 1963? Gosh. I don't want to talk.
Leave it alone.
Leave it alone. That makes me older. And then last time was 2004 here, and they lost 30-24. We talked about the uniforms. Let's give you a look at what the game day uniforms. Oh man, look at that. That's good stuff. That could quickly become one of my favorite uniforms. I like that shade of green, and I know it's got a name with the black, and then the silver numbers and the helmet.
It's going to pop, man.
Wings.
It's going to look great.
Look at that. Okay.
Every week.
That's Dylan Thieneman, by the way.
I just don't know how they can come up with the great combinations like they do every single week. I mean, it doesn't matter the color combo, whether it's matching top and bottom in one color all the way from helmet down to cleats or mixing it up like this. You're right. And again, it's a different green. It's just a different green.
It just pops. By the way, Kenyon Barner, I saw him do on Twitter or X this week. I don't know what show he was doing, but he did his top 10 uniforms, 10 through number 1. I couldn't do that. Could you pick your?
No, it'd be tough.
No, there's too many of them. I do like the eggshell.
I do. Yeah.
But I don't know what I would put number 1. And then let's do just helmets. Put helmets in order.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I still, when Oregon went up to Washington and played, and Jonathan Stewart playing in the Stormtrooper uniforms, the first time I think we'd really seen them in all whites from top to bottom.
Yeah.
It just was something that was completely different. So,
well, here comes our. Oh man,
all right.
He looks like a player. He is too young.
He does,
He
doesn't he?
looks too young to be a coach.
Here we go.
Rashad
Yeah,
Samples.
sorry, guys.
Yeah, you better be ready.
No. Never need to apologize. Pepsi coaches interview a running back coach who looks like he could still be playing. No, I mean you're out there running around with the guys. Do you feel like you could be?
No way. There's no way. I don't have 2 snaps in me.
Oh, come on. Hey, I want to start with how did you get to Oregon? But let's work our way up there. Let's go back to when you first started playing football as a kid.
Okay.
What was it like when you were a kid?
Oh, man, I was terrible. I was actually a basketball player. My dad was a football coach, so he forced me kind of to play football, and it was a tussle for him every day to get me up, get off the couch. I was hiding in the house. He had to come find me. Once he finally got me to go to football practice, I would spend the whole practice saying I had to use the restroom. So I'd disappear at some creek, and I'd come back when practice was almost over. I made sure I missed tackling drills because that was my least favorite part. And from then on, like I spent time. I got tired of my dad fussing about it, and I started to get good. And anytime you start to get good at something, you start to like it a little bit more. You grow some confidence in it, and that's what I did. And so, man, I fell in love. There was a moment probably in about 7th, 8th grade, I just fell in love with the game. And from then on, it was history. You know, I knew I wanted to spend the rest of my life being involved with football.
You stayed away from the tackling drills, obviously. You stayed on the offensive side of the ball, right?
Yes.
And you went from a wide receiver to being a running back coach. So talk about how that happened.
Yeah, so I started out playing – I played wide receiver my whole career. I started out GAing with quarterbacks, then moving to wide receivers. Actually, I was Drew Maringer's GA, who's our tight ends coach. So he was my coach. Actually, most people don't know that. He was my coach in college at the University of Houston. So he was my receiver coach.
Interesting.
And then I worked with receivers with him as a GA, and then from then on, you know, I went to SMU, right? And they asked me, hey, you can coach the inside receivers here. You can kind of share a room. All right, we'll have an inside receiver coach, outside receiver coach, and they said you can have your own room and coach the running backs. And I liked the idea of having my own room. I had dreamed of being a position coach. You already kind of think about doing things the way you want to do them and how you want to do things and how you want to run a room. And I had all those things ingrained in my head, and I was like, man, I love to run my own room. So I jumped in there with the running backs and had no clue what I was doing. But luckily, on the way, I've had I'm blessed to have some amazing mentors and guys who've poured into me, and obviously spent a lot of time in some different places learning. And I'm a ball coach by trade. I've been around the game my whole life, so it grew on me, and, man, it's been my life.
You coached collegiately. Obviously, you're here now, but you also spent some time in the NFL with the Rams. What was that like? How did you get there, and what was it like?
I was at TCU. I think I was bowling one day after we just got through with recruiting season, about to start up spring ball, and I was bowling, and I got a call from a buddy, and he said, hey, the assistant head coach at the Rams want to spend some time talking to you. And it was out of the blue, a cold call, and I jumped on the phone with the assistant head coach from the Rams, Thomas Brown, who's one of my biggest mentors now, and, you know, we just talked. He got to know me, asked me my purpose. I got to know him, and he was just like, all right, and hung up the phone. I was like, well, that was weird. And about 2 weeks later, he called me and was like, hey, you want to get on the phone with Sean McVay and do an interview? And I was like, I mean, I'd love to talk to Sean McVay. You know, he's innovative. He's the young coach in the sport. He's the guy that's, like, changing the game offensively. I was like, yeah, I'd love to. And he was like, okay, well, expect a call from us in the next couple of days. Of course, 2 more weeks goes by, and I actually call him back, and I'm like, hey, man, you got to stop with this whole calling and disappearing thing. I don't know if this is your thing, but it's giving me anxiety. And so he was like, hey, man, we went on vacation. We'll give you a call back in the next couple of days. They end up calling me. I end up doing an interview with Sean. It's supposed to be an hour and 30-minute interview, and like 25 minutes into the interview, he was like, hey, man, like, I'm good. Like, you're the guy. And so,
oh, my gosh.
That was a really great experience for me, being able to win over a guy like that who I've watched, who I've, paid attention to, and somebody who, who helped mold my career as a young guy who I've watched. And then being there with Thomas Brown once they hired me was like, that was impactful for me. Those guys helped me shape my career and shape who I am as a coach.
Call those one of those God winks in your life that happens like that.
Ain't no
but
doubt.
You got the Rams, and then with Arizona State and Kenny Dillingham, and then to Oregon. So take us from the Rams to now Oregon.
And connections, by the way, obviously with Dillingham being here and down there, and then you're here.
So it's so crazy. I've worked for the youngest coach in the NFL. I've been the youngest coach, position coach in the NFL. I worked for the youngest coach in college football, then one of the youngest coaches with Dan. So it's like a blessing. I worked with a GA for Drew, who's the youngest offensive coordinator, youngest position coach at the time, Brian Johnson. It's like you said, it's the God's wink. But from L.A., I mean, I got a chance to coach receivers again at Arizona State, and I love receivers. That's the position I played. Yeah. It was a great opportunity to be with another young coach. My goal is to be a head coach in college football. It's been my goal since the beginning, and for me, getting into the NFL and learning was the most important part for me, just to grow as a coach, to grow my knowledge of the game. And it wasn't a great season, and after that season, I felt like, man, I've grown a lot. I want to take my chances back at coaching receivers and jump back into this college deal where I can get a chance to be a head coach, hopefully in the future. And Kenny was awesome, man. Kenny called me with all the energy he has, as you guys know. And he started telling me about Arizona, and I'd never been to Arizona. And he was FaceTiming me every day, showing me the mountains there and the weather. And Kenny's a good recruiter. He's a great recruiter, obviously. And so I just knew that was the place I wanted to be, coaching receivers. And we didn't win a bunch, but, man, I knew – like, before I came here, we built something. I recruited Jordan Tyson. We had Cam Scatterboo. I mean, we had some guys there, and we didn't win that first season, but like going to that spring ball, I was like, this is going to be a really special team. And of course, Coach Lanning comes around, and he's also a great recruiter.
Indeed.
And he shared with me his vision of this place, and I mean, what a leader he is, and what a mentor he's been for me, and that's what he expressed on that phone call, just how much I would continue to grow as a coach, and being in this environment and being exposed to some of the things that he's been exposed to, and how he can help me if my goal was to be a head coach. Obviously, the opportunity to be the assistant head coach to him is like, man, you can't pass that up. No. And so that's how I ended up here, and it's been a blessing, man. Obviously, it's been crazy. It's been amazing. My first time in Eugene, first time in Oregon was just coming down here for my first spring practice last year, and what a place this is, and what opportunities this been.
I'm hearing a theme here. Youngest coaches you've worked with, youngest this, youngest that. So maybe we're talking. I don't want you to leave, but we may be talking to one of the youngest coaches, head coaches ever to occur in college football.
Well, if we do it right,
okay. That's right.
We got to keep winning games here. So that's
all right,
that's the main focus. Be where your feet is.
I'm going to get a quick break in here, really quick, and then we'll come back. We got a short segment with you coming up. I want to talk about your running back room a little bit, because you got a lot of guys. So let's do that. By the way, Rashad Samples, running's back. Gosh, big game coming up this weekend. Let's hurry through this and get back on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear Truckin' Awesome, Toyota Tundra's got heart-pounding horsepower. Tacoma is one rugged ride, and the 4Runner is tough as nails. Truck yeah. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Wherever you are in life, once a duck, always a duck. That's OCCU. Since 1956, OCCU has helped the University of Oregon community take flight financially. Like our remarkable checking and duck debit card that give Duck fans more for the things they care about. More for the game, more for gear, more for a bright future. Earn interest, show your duck devotion, and start earning more today. Learn more at myoccu.org/getduckdebit.
Dear Truckin' Awesome, Toyota Tundra's got heart-pounding horsepower. Tacoma is one rugged ride, and the 4Runner is tough as nails. Truck yeah. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
There's more Duck football around the corner.
Gets a first down and more. He got it in. Show me touchdown. Touchdown, Oregon.
60 seconds away on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Welcome back inside our Country Financial Studios. Jerry Allen with Jorgie and our Toyota Coaches Show. It's our Pepsi Coaches interview with Rashad Samples, who was just talking during the break about a new addition to the family. You got to tell us about it. You're probably not getting a lot of sleep now, huh?
No, not a lot of sleep. I got a 4-month-old, man, and it's a blessing.
Yeah,
there we go.
That's cool.
Sure is.
So
cool.
had my first in Eugene, so this will always be a special place to me. Little Jet is, hopefully he's sleeping right now, but you know, it's awesome. Anytime you can be a part of fatherhood and you do this with all your players and you care about them, you love them, and when you can have your own, it's
different.
It's
different.
It's a different special feeling,
man.
Yeah.
Your running backs room. Normally, we're going to ask a running backs coach about one or two guys that are important to the team, the game. You've got 6 or 7 guys that have been contributing pretty much. How do you balance that? Talk about that running back room.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's hard. You know, when you have as many talented guys in the room as we have, you know, you have to find ways to balance egos. You have to find ways to balance, you know, personalities. But the blessing I've had is, man, we got, like, what a running back room we have and how unselfish they are. You know, you watch them. We play in a bunch of 21 personnel, and you see even the young freshman, he's always on the perimeter blocking. You see Jaden Lamar on the perimeter blocking, and you watch those guys like they celebrate each other's touchdowns. You think they scored them, you know, and when you're a part of a room like that, it's special because everybody's talented and everybody has a reason to say why they should be on the field. Like, everybody has a valid point of why they should be on the field and has a valid point about their skill set and their strengths and how it can help our team, and they're all right because all of them have skill sets and strengths that can help our team. I think it's about messaging. I think it's important to talk to those guys about what their role is and how they can increase their role, but I think all those guys step to the plate. They step to practice every day, and it's competitive. And that's my favorite part about that room. Like, they are competitors, you know, and they show up every day in practice and they're trying to outdo each other. And then once we get to game day, man, they're high-fiving, they're jumping around, they're hugging, and man, it's something special to be a part of.
What are the things they have to do besides the competition on the field to elevate their level of play? I mean, weight room, obviously, physicality, that piece of it. But what are the other things that those guys have to do to really take it to that next level?
Yeah, I think this game, man, when you play this game at a really high level, I think the higher you go, the more mental it becomes. And I think challenging those guys mentally, challenging their processes, challenging their habits, challenging, you know, how they approach each day, challenging, you know, how they connect with their teammates. I think everything outside of football becomes how you challenge, you know, because, a lot of those guys, you show up, you roll the ball out, and, man, they can do some special things. They can make guys miss. They're contact initiators. They can all catch. They're multifaceted backs. But, how early are they waking up in the morning? How much film are they watching? How well do they know their opponent? How well do they know their teammates? How well do they know their coaches? How well can they predict, what Will Stein's thinking on certain down and distance, what he wants to happen, where he expects them to be at? I think that's where you challenge those guys' minds, and what that does is it allows them to play a couple milliseconds faster, and that's the difference, right? A play is 4 to 6 seconds, right? And if you have a 1 second advantage on somebody in 4 to 6 seconds, right, you're 25% ahead, you know what I'm saying? And so I think the mental part allows them to play a second faster or a half a second faster, and that's where you challenge those guys.
All right, a quick word, and then we'll let you get out of here. Indiana run defense is pretty good. What do you see from Indiana? Man,
they fly around and they play with infectious energy. They feed off of each other. You could tell they're confident in their scheme. They know where they're supposed to be, and they play aggressive. They flow to the ball. They show up. They fit gaps. They tackle well. It's a reason that they have so many. They're so high in a bunch of defensive statistics, especially run defense. They've been very successful on the run defense because they're going to load the box. They're going to trust their guys to play coverage on the outside, and they're going to say, we're going to stop the run. We're going to make you predictable. We're going to get you in second and longs. We're going to get you in third and longs by stopping efficient run and efficient play. And, we're going to make you play left-handed, or we'll make you play predictable. And, they've done a good job of that. Obviously, that's how they've controlled teams, controlled games with their defense. And, I think we got to be able to challenge those guys in the run game.
Hats off to you. A lot of respect for having that number of talent in a room and having them get along together, play together, contribute. I hope we get to come back and spend a lot more time with you right now. We're going to get a guy from the other side of the ball, guy that's going to come up top.
Got a good one coming.
Coach, thanks for being with us tonight.
I appreciate you guys. Sorry I spent so much time game playing.
No. Rashad Samples, running backs coach. Joey's next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Wherever you are in life, once a duck, always a duck. That's OCCU. Since 1956, OCCU has helped the University of Oregon community take flight financially. Like our remarkable checking and duck debit card that give duck fans more for the things they care about. More for the game, more for gear, more for a bright future. Earn interest, show your duck devotion, and start earning more today. Learn more at myocccu.org/getduckdebit.
More Duck football comes your way in 60 seconds.
That ball came out, and Oregon has it.
On the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Man, I love my kids so much. I once sat for 3 hours in the cold rain to watch her soccer team lose by 18 goals.
I love my kids so much, I once used a tube to suck snot out of her stuffed nose at 3 a.m.
You win.
Love your kids? Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat. From toddlers to tweens, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat to find the right seat for their age and size. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I'm coming home to the place that I remember. Back to the land of my first love. Would you spread wide your arms for this wayward son?
Back on the Toyota Coaches Show, I'm Joey Mac, and he is Matayo Uiagalelei joining us in the Country Financial Studio. I have to ask you the most serious question that I will ask you. First off, Matayo, you ready?
Yes, sir.
How many different ways have you heard your last name pronounced in your life?
I don't know. There's not a number I could count to. I don't know.
Not
a lot of different ways.
How'd I do? Was that all right?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay. I feel like I always get nervous though. Like, you gotta make sure you get it right.
No,
you know? Like, I understand. Okay, now we have a tradition, Mateo, and I'm hoping that nobody warned you. I'm gonna time you. We're competitive. You gotta tell us your 2-minute life story.
2-minute life story.
And I will time you.
All right.
Goal is as close to 2 minutes as possible. You ready?
All right, yeah.
On your mark, get set, go.
I was born in 2004 by my mom, obviously. Grew up in Southern California. The Inland Empire, to be exact, kind of all throughout there, like Upland, Ontario, Chino.
Scott's cheering. You're in his territory
yeah.
here.
And then my brother ended up going, or my parents, or my dad played sports, and my mom, she went to college and stuff, but ended up playing football and other sports. And then my brother went to St. John Bosco. Then I went there too, and then we were pretty good at it. And then he kind of paved the way for me. And then he made it to D1 football. He's in NFL right now, but then I made it to college and yeah.
53.21.
Maybe I went a little too fast.
Yeah, you spread
I could
it out.
yeah.
So I say all the time though, Mateo, like once you play in the NFL for a few years, the story gets a little longer, and then it's hard to fit it into 2 minutes. So I'm curious now, just talking about your family. I'd imagine competitive household growing up.
Yeah.
Like, was it always a competitive backyard playing in your house?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I would say so for the most part, but I feel like my brother was pretty ahead of me. Like, I saw he was a grown man when he was like 9 years old. Like,
sure.
I think I'm more of a late bloomer, but it was definitely competitive. Video games, where I say was the most competitive.
Okay.
Because I had a fair chance.
You had a fair.
Yeah, I had a fair chance.
I get that. Do you think he's the best athlete in the family?
You're
also
honestly,
it's okay if you say you.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think anymore. I feel like it's me now.
That's what you like to hear.
I feel like it's me now.
That's what you like to hear. When did you know, like, okay, football's gonna be my thing? Like you kind of said, like you kind of joked, like you're pretty good at it, but like when did you know, like this could be a thing for me?
Yeah, I think high school, like growing up, like sports was like no matter what's going on in our lives, like our parents was gonna put us in sports. And, I was kind of indifferent to it. Like I liked it, but I wasn't like. I was kind of just I still am today, but back then I was like very just a go with the flow kid.
Really?
Like, never too high, never too low. But I think in high school that's where I kind of found my love for it and, kind of found a little bit of purpose in it.
I'm curious then, like if you weren't playing football, what would you be doing?
I don't know. I like doing a lot of stuff. I like making music sometimes on my free time. I don't know, I feel like I'm just a creative person. Anything that would just kind of stimulate creativeness. But yeah, I mean, football definitely is a big part of my life. It's a big question. I don't know.
Many people have told me though that your love of music and making music is a big part of your life. Tell fans about that. What's the background like?
I think it started from seeing my dad and his brothers. They grew up in the church, so. I mean, they came from Hawaii, and I come from a Samoan background, but they played in the church and, just different instruments. They always singing and stuff. So just seeing their musical background, I don't know. I think that just kind of triggered something in me and just being like, I don't know, just curious about like, how does that even work? How do you make music? Like, how do you do this? And then just messing around on the internet, trying to teach myself how to make beats on YouTube and stuff. And I feel like I got pretty good at that too. So it's definitely one of the things I love doing.
So you're making beats, right?
Yeah.
Have you taught yourself any instruments yet, or is it all computer?
Yeah, no, I can play the keys pretty good. I can play the piano a little bit. I probably say I'm most confident in that. I can play the guitar like a little bit. Like I know a few songs, but I probably learned a lot of songs over time. I just forget them all.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. But did you like take any? Did you figure this out all on your own? I guess is my question. Because that's kind of what I thought. Like you're a self-taught musician.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I really use YouTube as there's like real people online, and they, it was never like a face-to-face like piano lesson or guitar lesson.
You just figured it out.
And I'll try and ask my dad or all my uncles and dad, they could play the piano and other instruments, And he was like, oh, you know, just, you know, you already know how to play. And I'm like, no, I don't. So you're already good. Just
press the keys and it all works out. Yeah.
Maybe that's what my grandpa taught him. They just started playing. But
how's Matayo as the singer?
As a singer, I love singing, but I wouldn't say I'm the greatest singer.
You don't have to be good. You just have to love it.
No, yeah, I definitely love singing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm good, but.
So when does two things. One, then you are gonna get. You must get asked this a lot. You're gonna get asked it by me here. Like, what's the pregame playlist? Are you the team DJ? Are you the team appointed DJ with having such a love for music?
Nah. To be honest, I'm not even. I don't know. I'm not the team DJ. And then like for pregame music, I think last year, like there would be like half of the games. I don't know. I don't think pregame music is. I don't know. I'm not a big.
It's not your thing.
Yeah, like this year I've had my headphones. Shout out Dante, with the beats. Yeah. And I've definitely been having some music, but even like last year, the year before that, like there'd be games I don't even have my headphones. So
it's more of a. It sounds like it's more of a calming thing for you. Like it's what you want to do, just like outside of hyped up for the game.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
And it's like whatever. Like if they have music playing around, like whatever music, like for the most part, I'm not. I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty open to a lot of music, so I could probably enjoy it.
Well, then the next time that we have you here, we'll just have the full instrument set up for you, all right? And we'll get your rendition as we continue with Matayo Uiagalelei. So I'm glad that we could talk a little bit about music. Now I have to ask you another hard-hitting question, and that is how often do offensive linemen hold every play?
I mean, it is like you hold, time? But like. I don't know. It's a difference between like there's a point to like you let yourself get hold. If I just run into the dude, like he's gonna grip my jersey, he's gonna hold me here, and that's not holding.
Right.
But if you're like past the guy and he's still holding you and it's like a blatant hold, I'll probably say you see that. I mean, you still see that probably, probably a lot, but I mean, as an old lineman, like shoot. Even if you hold for like a quick second and let go, and they probably not gonna call that, like that's gonna give the quarterback an extra, half a second. Maybe.
That's all they need.
Yeah. So I mean, they hold, but like it's not like it's either you let yourself get hold or they're not gonna call it, or if it's just a blade hold, then they'll call it. But
so I've asked a lot of pass rushers this over the years, right? Because offensive linemen are, of course, I was like, no, I never hold. Right, but defensive players like, no, I get held, like it happens. So with all that in mind, though, now a more serious question: what's been some of the keys to you being a good pass rusher, and maybe frame it in the way of like young players that are watching? Like, what did you have to work on to become a good pass rusher today?
Yeah, I think one of the main things when I first got here, I feel like I had a lot of tools. But I don't know. I don't feel like I was super confident coming in and using them, And then another part is kind of like the mental game. Just like, say it's like second long, like high school me, I probably would have been, in a 3-point stance. Or I don't know, I probably wouldn't have thought like it's going to be a pass or, just knowing the tells of when it's going to be a pass. And like playing in different modes, like I see this, I'm in my we call it jet mode, like I'm ready to get off the ball, So for me, I think a lot of mental things, and then just the key elements of passers like getting off the ball, and then you're gonna get into a combat zone, so whatever it is, like however you defeat the hands, maybe you go power, and then however you're gonna finish, you finish the O lineman with the rip or whatever, and then you finish on the QB.
Well, I've talked with Tosh Lupoy over the years now, about all these different things. And I was curious, like, just working with Tosh, what's that been like for you in your career here at Oregon?
Yeah. I mean, I love Tosh as a DC. He's one of the main reasons I came here. I mean, as a DC and just a position coach, he's just a guy who's all in for his players. I don't think he would ever ask you to do something that he wouldn't do himself. And, he's been the same guy since he recruited me that he is today. And he's you probably wouldn't think it, but he's actually, I don't know, I think he has a pretty funny humor.
He's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you said that. So
yeah,
when he was here, I think he's really funny.
Yeah,
he might be. I'm gonna get so many people tomorrow at practice yelling at me when I'm about to say this. But he's one of the funniest guys around. Like one of the funniest guys on the staff, I think.
Yeah, but it's weird because he'll be funny, but at the same time, like, it's funny, but you're getting yelled at because you did something wrong. Right. So then it's it's not so funny
it's
anymore.
Intense.
So
right.
so he has the, I don't know how he has the ability to, like, demand the best out of everybody, be serious. He's serious and funny. And then, like, I don't know, he's just focused at all times.
Well, it works.
Yeah.
Clearly. All right, if you could go back in time and give 17-year-old Matayo a piece of advice, what are you telling 17-year-old you?
17-year-old me, dang. Oh. Shoot, I'll probably just say, I don't know. I think I could have had better effort. That's still something I'm working on. Like, when I got here, I think that was the main, like, just running to the ball and playing physical throughout the whole snap, being physical. As far as football, that's what I say to my younger self. And then probably more just as a person, I say, like, speak up more and be a leader. I think I had the influence back then too, and I don't think I really stepped up as a leader that much. And we had some pretty good leaders on our team though, but I definitely could have used that and helped out other people.
Oh boy, for a guy who led the conference in sacks, I think you're being pretty hard on yourself.
Yeah, I know.
Do you think about that though, like that inward pressure that you put on yourself? I imagine that must drive you over the course of your life.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you should be like your hardest critic. And probably my brother is my hardest critic.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, probably my whole family, but I mean, you kind of want those people in your corner who just want the best from you constantly. And I think when you have someone who's constantly, like, you understand, like, it's coming from a place of love, but it's also like, even when you know that, sometimes it's like, all right, bro, like,
right.
But I think constantly having that growing up, I think it allows you to be coachable and allow you to just, any kind of coach you have, like, you hear the message and not the tone.
Yeah, it makes sense. All right, last one for you, Matayo. Just some keys ahead for fans. What are the keys to success for the Duck defense the rest of the way?
Shoot, I say stop the run. We gotta definitely do better in the red zone. Not a lot of teams made it to the red zone this year, but when they do, they score points on us. Being honest, and then just keep, sounds cliche, but just keep getting 1% better every day. As far as like the back end, do the little things, the hard things. Show up in the run fit. Run. You might be on the backside, run to the ball. As a front, like if it's a pass rush, don't be we say don't be an a-hole and just rush all the way past the QB. Like, have a sense of responsibility when you rush the quarterback, and then communicate. But I definitely say stop the run and stop people in the red zone.
He's Matayo Uiagalelei. Matayo, thanks for being here, man.
Yes,
I look forward to the first release of the self-titled album, coming someday.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm looking forward to it. All right, we'll get a timeout, come back, wrap things up, getting ready for Indiana here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear Truckin' Awesome, Toyota Tundra's got heart-pounding horsepower. Tacoma is one rugged ride, and the 4Runner is tough as nails. Truck yeah. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear Truckin' Awesome, Toyota Tundra's got heart-pounding horsepower. Tacoma is one rugged ride, and the 4Runner is tough as nails. Truck yeah. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
throw it into the end zone. Was it caught? Yes! Touchdown!
Back to the action in 1 minute on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When I smoke weed, I get lost in the music. I like to isolate each instrument. The rhythmic bass, the harmonies on the piano, the sticky melody.
Hey, careful, babe. There's someone crossing the street.
Sorry, I didn't see him there.
If you feel different, you drive different. Don't drive high. It's dangerous and illegal everywhere. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and come on now. Don't forget to say you will.
Welcome back inside our cave.
It is a cave, isn't it? It really is.
I wish we had Dusty Crophopper with us, so I.
That is such a great name.
I thought for sure you'd wait until Saturday for that. No.
No.
Okay,
That's
wait.
flag.
Dusty, I know that you're listening. My son watched the movie Planes for the very first time this last weekend. Spent our bye week right. And he was like, Dad, your friend Dusty is in the movie. And in the movie, the plane's name is Dusty Crophopper. I want to point out it is not Dusty Crop Duster.
No!
I thought for sure you'd wait until Saturday to bring this up.
No. He knows now to look forward to it because it's coming.
I'm so sorry,
Down on
Dusty.
the Toyota sideline with
sorry.
Dusty Crophopper. 10:30 pregame show. We could talk about. No. 10:30 pregame.
The flags are flying.
Okay, that just means we got to come up with a name for Scott. Okay? If you're going to be throwing flags around.
Look.
Okay.
Top 10 game. Let's go.
Yeah,
Can't wait, man.
10:30
Can't wait.
pregame show. ESPN Game Day, 6 a.m. on the quad. It's a yellow day. I think on yellow. Okay, I was going to say get that yellow raincoat out, but it's not going to rain. Never rains at Autzen.
Never rains at Autzen.
Okay. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Coach Samples for joining us as well, fans. It's a huge week. It should be a big week. You'll be talking about it all week. We'll see you on Saturday. Let's do this together and have some fun. Thanks for listening or watching. Bye-bye. God bless.
You wanted to be cool, which led you to smoking, which led to a pack a day. Then you met that special someone, which led to starting a life with them, which led to wanting to live longer, which led to quitting. Then you heard you may be at risk for lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you smoked, get scanned.